Merry Christmas, people, and for your Christmas present from me, I will be reviewing 2001 A Space Odyssey in 4K Ultra HD, and I got that coming up for you next. So, I could not think of a better Christmas present for you guys but to release my review, finally, of 2001 A Space Odyssey. I was not lucky enough to actually get my copy in October when they actually got canceled. Some people got it, some people didn't, and I was one of the ones that actually didn't. And that is my luck. But it just came out this week, and I'll be reviewing it for you guys, starting off with the movie itself. And what can I say about this movie that isn't already said? You know, I don't like using this word when just talking about films, because I find it kind of pretentious. But there are some films that are just a masterpiece. They're a work of art. They transcend just the filmmaking genre that they are in, and that is very much Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. This movie has such ideas to it that it just amazes me that a movie like this was made in the 60s, where even before we landed on the moon. And so they had no idea if what they were conveying in this movie was actually going to be accurate. And I just feel like this is just a very daring movie to put out there, especially in 1968. And then, you know, just the iconic imagery and the boldness to really have a movie that, you know, I don't feel like dialogue is important in this movie at all. You really don't have to pay attention to anything that anybody is saying, with the exception of Hal. And, yeah, images and things that you are actually seeing in this film, it's much more important. That is where the story lies, and that is where all of the emotion and the black comedy, because there is some black comedy in this film, and all of it is conveyed just through imagery. And this movie is just amazing. I could go on and on talking about it. I love it so much. It is a classic in my mind. I feel like I don't watch it enough, and I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. This movie is literally an experience, and too often we forget that movies can actually be that for us, and this movie definitely just embodies that notion. And getting into the video quality here, this was actually put through a 4K scan and given a 4K digital intermediate and Dolby Vision support, and oh my God, this movie looks amazing in 4K. Amazing. I thought it looked pretty good on Blu-ray. And the matter of fact, at the time, I thought it looked just outstanding. But it actually improves here so much. And, you know, at times, this can look kind of soft. It's definitely not the sharpest transfer, but what it makes up for in just the detail and the imagery and just the overall quality here, it's just immensely just satisfying. And you know, especially when you get into the third act of the film and you really get into the spacecraft, and you see tons of detail that was never there before, and just certain little details that Stanley Kubrick has put into this film. It is so well represented here. And then when you get into the HDR, now that is where this blew me away, especially with Dolby Vision. Now, they have changed a lot of the color in this film, and it works for the best. You know, even down to where you look into Hal himself, there was this red aura that would illuminate from Hal's eye. And I always just took it to be the intent, but that actually is almost gone here. And that is because the coloring of it has changed for the better, and that is because of the HDR and the Dolby Vision here, and just the exterior shots of when they are actually looking outside of the spacecraft, and just the color timing of it, and instead of like a bluish hue that some of the film has, it actually has more of a darker hue to it. And then at times when you see a yellower hue in the Blu-ray, you actually see just a crisp white hue that is so polarizing. The HDR and Dolby Vision here is amazing, and it is such a stellar job that they have done here. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. This is reference quality material and just demo worthy as far as what can the 4K medium do for older films, because this is it. And getting into the audio quality, unfortunately we don't get a Dolby Atmos track, but what we do get is a remixed version of the DTS HD track. They actually went back to the old audio mix and completely redid it here for us, and it sounds amazing. I love the score of this film, and Stanley Kubrick actually went to classical music for a lot of his films, and this is no different, and it is just so well recreated in 5.1, and just the silences that are in this film, it's just really haunting. And then when you have the bigger moments that a lot of times have to do with the score of the film, because the score here, all of those classical music touches, it means a lot, and that is when your field of sound gets really wide here, and then bass response to that classical music is excellent. It is crisp, clear, and spot on. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This is really awesome stuff, even though we didn't get a Dolby Atmos track here. And getting into the digital copy, this is a Movies Anywhere digital copy, so you can view this in 4K on iTunes and on Vudu. And as far as special features goes, the audio commentary with the actors, including Keir Dullea, is ported over to the 4K disc. And you can definitely listen to that. It is amazing. It is a great audio commentary track. I wish I could hear Stanley Kubrick on any of the commentaries that are for his films, but unfortunately, he passed away, and this is still an awesome audio commentary. All of the rest of the special features are on the Blu-ray that comes with this set. And this is only audio, but you do get an interview with Stanley Kubrick and Jeremy Bernstein. That is awesome. That is just, recommended right there for you guys, listening to Stanley Kubrick talk about his films. And on top of that, you get a 50-minute making of that really goes into a lot of the production of this movie. And this movie had such an interesting production. And, I could go into it and talk to you guys about it for a long-ass time. But I don't want this video to be that long. You get featurettes that go into Stanley Kubrick's vision of the future. You also get, basically a summary of where we were in the space race when they started production on this movie. And you get a whole hell of a lot The special features here actually add up to about 2 hours, and that is a lot. And on top of that, you get these movie stills. There is, I believe, 4 of them, and they are just awesome and so killer. I do love this box set, and for that I am going to give all of the special features here a 9 out of 10. It is great. And getting into my last looks at 2001: A Space Odyssey, look, there is a whole lot that I could say about this movie, but I will make it brief, and I will just say that there are very little films out there that I believe that everybody should see, because it really does take the medium of filmmaking, and specifically science fiction, and it's just transcendent to that medium. You know, so many films that came after this just feel like they are copies. I see Alien in 2001: A Space Odyssey. I see Star Wars in 2001: A Space Odyssey. I see Blade Runner in 2001: A Space Odyssey. Just so many concepts. It's all created here. And man, this is such a visionary movie. And when you add up all my scores for 2001: A Space Odyssey in 4K Ultra HD, you come out to a 38 out of 40. This is a must-own for you guys. The movie is amazing. The video quality here is stunning. And the audio is really great as well. You get a whole lot of special features here. This is actually a cool box set too. It is just awesome and just a great Christmas gift for you guys. And next, I do have to get into Evil Dead 2. I've been promising that for you guys, and I'm definitely coming out with it. Equalizer 2 is coming out. Venom, the Predator. I'm going to get that all to you guys. But I wanted to get this to you for Christmas. And here you go. So, if you are excited about everything that I have coming out for you guys, subscribe so you know when those videos come out, man. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are great. Have a nice Christmas, people, and I will see all of you next time.